For the next coding bat problem, we're going to look at monkey trouble. So here, we are given two arguments, monkey A, whether monkey A is smile or not, whether monkey B is smile or not. And we are in trouble if either both of them are smiling or neither of them is smiling. So again, there are two variables, so we just condition on one of them. So if A is A smile, then this will depend on whether B smile. If both A and B are smiling, we're in trouble, so we return true. So, and if B is not smiling, A smile, B doesn't smile, we're fine, we return false. So then this else branch matching with the A smile. At this point, we're dealing with A not smiling. So again, we look at B. If B smile, so A not smiling, B smiling, we're fine. We're not in trouble. We return false. Else we'll return true. So let's run it. Okay, it's correct. Now look at this. We're saying if B smile is true, we return true. If B smile is false, we return false. So we are just returning B smile. And here, if B smile is true, we return false. And if B smile is false, we return true. So we are returning not B smile. Let's run this. It's still correct. So if A smile, then we return true when B also smiles. And if A doesn't smile, we return true when B doesn't smile. So we basically have true true give us true, false false give truth, and true false and false true give us false. So another way to express this is simply to check whether A and B are the same. So if A and B are the same, that means they are either both smiling or both not smiling. We are in trouble. So we can compute the result by simply checking whether they are the same. So this equality can be viewed as another logical operator. So this will give true when both of these are either they are both true or they are both false. So when they are the same. So this is also correct. So that's for monkey trouble. I think we've covered those. The next problem I want to talk about is in this logic one, this cigar parity. So actually, so it's a little bit complicated. So you should pause the video, read the description, and try to figure things out. But essentially, we have two input arguments. One of them take integer value, the other take a Boolean value, and what we are supposed to return will depend on both of them. In the beginning, this might look quite messy. So we can start either by condition on cigars or condition on this weekend. So if we condition on cigars, there are actually three different range we care about. So when cigar is less than 40, so cigar is less than 40, so that's one cases. And otherwise, there's also the case where cigar is between 40 and 60. So I write the three cases from left to right if you think about a number line. And also in the beginning, I encourage you to write all the outer if condition, all the condition for the outer if statement first before we tackle each branch. So this is cigars between 40 and 60. We will do something. Then the remaining case will also do something, and this is the case when cigar is greater than 60. Okay. So let's see when cigar is less than 40, what happens? So this will not be a good party, whether it's weekend or not. So we will simply return false. If cigar is between 40 and 60, so if it's a weekend, if it's weekday, that's fine, that's good. If it's weekend, that's also good. So we just return true. And if it's between, it's greater than 60, this is where things depend on whether it's weekend. So while we can go through the exercise, let's just go through the exercise to write if statement first. If it's weekend, we are good, I believe. Yes. If we're weekend, there's no upper limit. If it's not weekend, greater than 60 is bad. So yeah, so that's correct. Then again, noting that we're saying if is weekend is true, we return true. If it's false, we return false. So we are basically just returning is weekend. So yeah, so this is correct. So basically, if we first condition on cigar, then this is what we get. But we can also write the code first condition on weekend. So if it's weekend, then when it's not weekend, so this will be weekday. So if it's weekend, what do we need to have a good party? So it need to be at least 40, and there's no upper limit when it's weekend. So all we care about is whether cigars is greater than or equal to 40. And if it's not weekend, it's weekday, then this is good party only when it's the cigar is between 40 and 60 inclusive. So either way would be correct. So we can first condition on cigars or first condition on the is weekend. So again, my advice is if you are writing this condition on numbers, so write out the structure first and add comment if needed to help you remind this branch what condition it is, and then fill them in. So the codebug problems that are suitable for this topic include the first 8 problems under warm-up 1 and all 9 problems under logic 1. So encourage you to practice them. In fact, I recommend doing those problems multiple times so that you can get them really fluent. So the goal is that this kind of thinking in this logical expression, the Boolean expression, you want to get that to be like a second nature, like you do arithmetic. Then you can solve harder problem because you don't need to think about this. This will just come natural to you. So to recap, using this coding bat example problem, we formally introduced Boolean type, the Boolean operators, and or not, and we also talk about function definition, return statement, and so one thing is when there are multiple conditions, we use if on one condition first. So essentially, when you are solving a complex programming problem, what you want to do is break them down into simpler pieces. So this if basically does that. So you condition on one variable, then you only need to worry about the other variable inside each of the branches. And after you've written your code, you can observe that sometimes the code can be simplified by using sometimes one line instead of multiple lines. And oftentimes you can simplify things by using logical expressions instead of using if statements. So I realized there's one other thing that I have not explained about the Boolean operators. So that is the precedence. So this is needed when you see expressions like that, because without precedence, then this is confusing what it means. So this could be interpreted as first not B and then and B, or you first do B and B and then you do not. So if you first do not B, you get true, and then you end B because B is false, false and false, you get false. But if you first do B and B, that part is false, and then you not that, then that gives you true. So different interpretation give you different value. So similarly here, if we first do A or B, that will be true, and then we do AND with B and false, so true and false, that is false. But if we first do B and B, that is false, but then we do or A is true, so true or false, that give us true. So the two different interpretations give us two different values. So the precedence here is that not has the highest precedence. So we apply not first. So in this case, we have not A first, and then we do AND. And AND has higher precedence than OR. So in this one, we will do B and B first, and then we do A or that. You can think of this as not as like a minus, so or negative sign. So when you have a negative number, when you have a negative 3 times 5, so you think that negative 3 is a number, then times 5. And the AND can be viewed as multiplication, and OR can be viewed as addition. So therefore, the multiplication has higher precedence than addition. So in fact, the relationship go a little bit deeper than just this syntactically. So the AND act a lot like multiplication. So let's just make sure that this code does what we say it will. So let's go to online GDP, select Python, and do text. Hold on. So yeah, not B, that is true, and B that give us false. So this B and B give us false, but then true or false. True or false give us true. So it is doing what we said it would be doing. So that's the Boolean operator precedence. So now we can end topic 1. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. We've covered a lot of material. So take your time to try to master this material. And in topic 2, we'll talk about the data structure list and the loop.